Wait, are Steffi Forrester and Eric Forrester about to ruthlessly fire Dylan just for sleeping with a Spencer? Oh, you better believe Electra Forrester is about to morph into a total jealous monster and destroy Dylan's entire life over Will Spencer. Hey B&B fans, welcome back to the channel. Today is a beautiful, drama-filled day to unpack the absolute chaos brewing in Los Angeles, and trust me, the Forrester Creations boardroom is about to turn into a literal war zone. If you love deep dives into our favorite daytime soap, smash that subscribe button right now. Let's talk about the raw spoilers and the pure speculation brewing right now based on the latest notes. The big question on the table today is this. Do you think Steffi Forrester, Finnegan, and Eric Forrester would be absolutely furious if they found out Dylan was secretly dating Will Spencer? And more importantly, would Steffi and Eric actually fire Dylan over it? I honestly believe the answer is a massive, resounding yes. Let's be real for a second. If Will Spencer officially became Dylan's boyfriend, Dylan would be thrown out of the Forrester Creations building so fast her head would spin. Why? Because Forrester Creations is not a normal workplace. Forrester Creations is a toxic, loyalty-obsessed family empire. If Dylan is dating Will, that means Dylan's loyalty shifts entirely to the Spencer family. Dylan wouldn't criticize Will. Dylan would stand by Will. And we all know that anyone who shows blind loyalty to a Spencer becomes an immediate enemy of the Forrester family. Think about the deep history here. Steffi Forrester Finnegan has spent her entire adult life going to war with the Spencer men. Steffi has been emotionally tortured by Liam Spencer's endless waffling for over a decade. Steffi has been manipulated, blackmailed, and nearly destroyed by Bill Spencer. Remember when Bill Spencer blew up the Spectra building with Liam inside? Steffi looks at the Spencer name and sees nothing but trauma, betrayal, and corporate rivalry. So, if Steffi finds out that her new receptionist, Dylan, is sleeping with Will Spencer, the son of Dollar Bill and Katie Logan Spencer, Steffi is going to see Dylan as a corporate spy. I think Steffi would fire Dylan on the spot, just on principle alone. Steffi does not tolerate Spencer's sympathizers in her building. And what about Eric Forrester? Eric is the grand patriarch. Eric demands absolute loyalty to the Forrester brand. Eric might play the role of the nice, forgiving grandfather most of the time, but when it comes to protecting his legacy, Eric does not play around. Eric has fired people for far less. If Eric thinks Dylan is bringing Spencer drama into the design room and causing friction, Eric will sign Dylan's termination papers without a second thought. Eric will always side with his family over a new employee. But let's get to the real villain of this scenario, Electra Forrester. Oh, I have so much to say about Electra. According to the storyline we are discussing today, Dylan is currently reporting directly to Electra at work and supporting Electra's jewelry line. This is a recipe for an absolute disaster. Having Electra as Dylan's boss is like handing a loaded weapon to a toddler. Even though Dylan literally moved out of Will's beach house and told Will they would never be together again just to preserve her so-called friendship with Electra, we all know how soap operas work. I am completely convinced that Electra is going to lose her mind with jealousy the second she finds out Dylan and Will are actually dating. Electra is an absolute hypocrite. Electra rejected Will. Electra is currently letting J. Forrester kiss her hands and sweep her off her feet in the Forrester showroom. Electra is basking in J's attention, soaking up all that aggressive Massimo Marone energy that J is throwing around right now. But the minute Electra sees Will moving on with Dylan, Electra's ego will not be able to handle it. Electra wants Will to pine for her forever. Electra wants to be the center of the universe. I honestly believe Electra is channeling her aunt, Ivy Forrester, way too much right now. We know Ivy is a master manipulator. Ivy literally hid a letter to destroy Electra and Will's relationship. But instead of learning from Ivy's toxic behavior and being a better person, Electra is adopting Ivy's worst traits. Electra has already given Dylan an insane ultimatum in the past about how Dylan can live, where Dylan can live, and who Dylan can date. Who does Electra think she is? I bet my bottom dollar Electra would do it again. Electra would corner Dylan in the Forrester showroom, lock the door, and tell Dylan that she absolutely cannot get involved with Will Spencer. Electra will threaten Dylan, plain and simple. Electra will say, if you date Will, you are in massive trouble. Electra will use her position of power to mentally torture Dylan. The trouble Dylan faces by becoming Will's girlfriend is twofold. First, Dylan loses her friendship with Electra, which, if you ask me, is no big loss because Electra is a terrible, selfish friend. Second, Dylan loses her job at Forrester Creations. Let's analyze the writing here. The writers are setting up a classic underdog storyline for Dylan. Sydney Bullock is playing Dylan with such incredible vulnerability and grace. When Dylan told Will to go repair the damage with Electra, Sydney Bullock acted the hell out of that scene. The writers are making us root for Dylan. So, naturally, the writers have to destroy Dylan's life to make us root for her even more. That is soap opera writing 101. Having Electra use her power as a Forrester to fire Dylan is the perfect soap opera conflict. It mirrors the classic rich versus poor dynamics we saw decades ago on this show. Remember when Stephanie Forrester used to destroy anyone from the valley who dared to look at Ridge Forrester? Electra is doing the exact same thing to Dylan over Will. Electra is using her nepotism job at Forrester Creations to control Dylan's personal life. Electra is weaponizing her last name. If I am writing this script, I would have Will find out that Electra got Dylan fired. Imagine the screaming match between Will and Electra. Will is already furious at Ivy for her manipulation. If Will finds out Electra used her Forrester power to render Dylan unemployed and homeless just out of petty jealousy, Will would be disgusted. Will would realize that Electra is just as manipulative as Ivy and Quinn Fuller combined. Will would look at Electra and see a toxic Forrester who only cares about control. And let's not forget R.J. Forrester's role in all of this mess. R.J. is currently fighting Will tooth and nail. R.J. and Will literally got into a physical scuffle at the office. If R.J. sees Electra bullying Dylan, R.J. might actually take a step back and realize Electra is crazy. Or, knowing R.J.'s current arrogance, R.J. might encourage Electra to fire Dylan just to stick it to Will Spencer. The Forrester versus Spencer rivalry is bleeding into the younger generation, and Dylan is just innocent collateral damage caught in the crossfire. Let's really look at Will Spencer's psychology here. Will is a Spencer through and through, but Will also has Katie Logan's heart. Will is looking at Electra and seeing all the drama, the demands, and the Forrester arrogance. Then Will looks at Dylan. Dylan is a former school teacher. Dylan is grounded, sweet, and genuine. Dylan literally packed her bags and moved out of Will's beach house just to keep the peace. I think Will is realizing that Dylan is the safe harbor in the middle of this Los Angeles storm. But Will is also his father's son. Bill Spencer never backed down from a fight, and Will is not going to let Electra dictate his love life. If Electra tries to fire Dylan, Will is going to unleash that legendary Spencer wrath. I can see Will marching right into the CEO office, slamming his hands on Steffi's desk, and demanding justice for Dylan. And speaking of the CEO office, let's talk about the immense stress Steffy Forrester Finnegan is under right now. Steffy is already dealing with a corporate nightmare. Brooke Logan is actively trying to steal Steffy's co-CEO position by making seductive offers to Ridge Forrester. Hope Logan is refusing to leave Forrester Creations. Steffy is surrounded by enemies on all sides. The absolute last thing Steffy needs right now is a petty love square blowing up her jewelry department. If Electra drags the Dylan and Will drama into Steffy's office, Steffy is going to snap. Steffy will not have the patience to mediate a high school breakup. Steffy will look at Dylan, see a liability who is dating a Spencer, and fire Dylan just to get the headache out of her building. Steffy's ruthless business side will take over, and Dylan will be the easy sacrifice. The tragedy here is that Dylan genuinely wanted to do the right thing. Dylan moved out of the beach house. Dylan gave up her chance with Will to be a good person. But in Los Angeles, no good deed goes unpunished. The writers are going to drag Dylan through the mud. Electra is going to make Dylan's work life a living hell. Electra will sabotage Dylan's reports, critique Dylan's support on the jewelry line, and ultimately run crying to Steffy and Eric to get Dylan thrown out of the building. And you know what? I hope Dylan does get fired. I hope Dylan gets fired, takes Will Spencer by the hand, and they walk out of Forrester Creations together. Will has Spencer Publications money. Will can take care of Dylan. Let Electra stay at Forrester Creations with R. J. and stew in her own bitter jealousy. Electra does not deserve Will, and Forrester Creations does not deserve a hard worker like Dylan. If you ask me, this entire storyline is gearing up for a massive sweeps month explosion. The tension between Will, Dylan, Electra, and R.J. is reaching a boiling point. When Steffy and Eric inevitably get involved, the fallout is going to shake the foundations of both the Spencer and Forrester families. Brooke Logan and Katie Logan Spencer are already at war over Hope Logan, so throwing Will and Dylan into the mix is just adding gasoline to a raging fire. I am so ready to see Dylan stand up for herself. I am tired of seeing Dylan play the victim. I want Dylan to look Electra dead in the eye and say, "I love Will, and you can take your jewelry line and shove it." That would be the television moment of the year. So, what do you guys think? Do you believe Electra is going to use her power to get Dylan fired? Will Steffy and Eric kick Dylan to the curb just for dating a Spencer? Let me know your wildest predictions in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on all things the bold and the beautiful.
What do you guys think about today's drama? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for your daily dose of bold and beautiful news. See you in the next video.